A-side official. No negotiations needed, period. What's good, everyone? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Hopefully everybody enjoying their morning, man. It's Wednesday. Just dropped through for a little boxing talk as always. You know how it goes. Let's get down to it, man. I know on the horizon, I mean very close horizon, we have Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. And Ryan Garcia was once upon a time an interim WBC champion at 135 pounds, right? And nothing materialized. That's when the lightweight division was packed with hitters. Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis. Come on, man. Roland Romero was down there. I mean, the list goes on, man. A lightweight division was packed. Then a boxer hopped in the ring, Devin Haney, and requested that Ryan Garcia and him fight. And Ryan Garcia said, "You my boy." But he was gonna fight Tank Davis next. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember, I can tell you when you have these boxers that have jumped in the ring, but didn't have the same energy when others jumped in the ring. Ryan Garcia told Devin Haney, "You my boy." He said that. Go back, watch the clip. "You my boy, but I'm fighting Tank." Then Tank was off the table at that time. He was fighting Manny Pacquiao. You remember when I was calling him Mr. Capione? Ooh, he's Capio. Y'all remember that shit? That was Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia leaves 35, losing to Tank Davis. Still at a point in his career where I'm trying to explain to people that, he's going to be a golden child in boxing. It's something that's going on with Ryan Garcia where they show him this, that favoritism, show him that attention, show him that there's some bias. They like Ryan Garcia for some reason. So outside of the talent, we was waiting for that to happen in the ring so we can really gravitate to Garcia and say, okay, this is what everybody been waiting on. This is what everybody been waiting on. He has a fight coming up here, Mario Barrios, which, when it comes down to it, Mario Barrios is a 2-division champion. Okay? Did I expect him to do more at 147? I would have liked for him to do it. But Barrios is newly married. I think, he married Figueroa, Omar and Brandon Figueroa's sister. So they had their first child. So he's been handling that. But for Mario, this may be his last hurrah with a title. I don't know. What I do understand with much clarity is that I don't see Barrios defending this title successfully against Ryan Garcia, and that is the WBC title. Now, the wild part about this masquerade, because it is a masquerade, y'all, is that you remember when the WBC said they expelled Ryan Garcia? Shout out to everyone that's in the building. What's good with it? Salute to you. Stick them on deck. What's good? Do you remember when Mauricio Suleiman was the first to come out when Ryan Garcia said what he said? Ryan Garcia has so much surrounding him. He had a canopy of freaking turbulence, a controversy surrounding him. The Devin Haney situation with Ostarine. Then he had the situation with the Muslims and the blacks, saying all that. He was also, claiming that he was on some type of recreational drugs and drinking and all this stuff, right? But the first and only sanctioning body to come out and say that they are expelling Ryan Garcia. Expel. Listen to that, yo. The expulsion that went into Mauricio Suleiman, putting that out to the media because he wanted to be first to say, I'm punishing Ryan Garcia for his actions. And a lot of us was up here like, is it really a such thing as expulsion when it comes to the sanctioning body? So Ryan comes off a year suspension. He gifted. You know what I'm saying? He gets a what they call it? A gesture of gratitude. They bring back Ryan Garcia to face Rolly Romero, another non-black fighter who was gifted. Oh my God. One of the worst in boxing history. Gifted a palm of gratitude. I don't know how many he had the oil to get that, but he was gifted. Rolly Romero was gifted. So Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero, a guy who was gifted. In Connecticut, when Jackson Mariñez had to be on the other side. That was Rolly Romero. Him and Ryan Garcia are some of the most luckiest golden childs in boxing of this era. Seriously. The magnitude of Rolly Romero, how the decision played in his favor, Tony Weeks stopping the fight when he was in Ambaroso getting his ass whooped, to him literally going up there to 147 pounds and fighting Ryan Garcia and winning finally. Winning a legitimate championship. No controversy. But then you have to look at Ryan Garcia, the way he was gifted after a year suspension. His first fight back was a title fight. Imagine that. His first fight back after his suspension for being a dirty fighter, performance-enhancing drug user, guilty, plead guilty to the New York State Athletic Commission. All that went into that investigation. Ryan Garcia comes back and gets beat by Rolly Romero. No. Ryan Garcia doesn't fall off the ladder. Ryan Garcia doesn't get trampled on the tracks. He doesn't get shelved. Ryan Garcia, the performance-enhancing drug cheat, he gets a shot at Mario Barrios. Wow. This man comes back and loses after a year suspension and gets an immediate title shot. This is what I was telling you. This is what I was doing a live, years ago about this changing of the guard. How so many media had disdain for black fighters. But in order for the black fighters to move themselves in a position to be the next best face of boxing, you need to do something special. Because Latinos are going to take over. They're going to take over. It's just the way boxing is. Even Shakur Stevenson is half black and Latino. Puerto Rican. What I'm trying to tell you is that Ryan Garcia, not far removed from being a drug cheat, is set to step in there in his second fight at 147 pounds, coming off suspension. Second straight title fight. I don't care what happened in between his fight with Rolly Romero, everybody's cheating Ryan Garcia, joking around with him, playing. They don't care if he's a drug cheat or not. Let that would have been a black fighter, and the black media would have been trampling on that fighter like it was cool. But Ryan Garcia said what he said, and people was like, Ryan, stop with that. Come on, chill. Man, you got to stop with that. Ryan's about to go ahead and scoop up a title with Mario Barrios. And I don't know what Barrios is going to do next after he loses his title, but he's going to lose his title. And this fight could potentially set up a rematch between him and Devin, hopefully. Why I want that to happen? Because it should have happened at 35. It should have. Ryan Garcia was the interim WBC champion while Devin was the WBC, the primary. You know what I'm saying? And Teal was the franchise holder. Before Lomachenko, petitioned for the franchise belt. No, you know how that shit works. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is that Ryan Garcia is set to pick up this title, and potentially we hope that him and Devin Haney have a rematch, because Devin's stock has went up even more since 35. He's a 3-division champion. He was undisputed, just not any undisputed. He white gloved the whole freaking division. I mean, he had the franchise belt that you don't hear too much about at all anymore. I think they took them out there to the desert somewhere and had a goddamn members only eulogy, and they buried them titles out there. They say, we're going to put these out here as little treasures. We're going to put them so far deep under this, it had to be an earthquake for them to come apart and say, hey, look what we found. And you better hope it's a long time from 2026, because somebody's going to pick it up and say, man, I think this is franchise title that they was bullshitting with. Yeah, they hand that shit to goddamn Canelo, Lomachenko, Juan Francisco Estrada. Yeah, put that shit back in there, man. Throw that motherfucker in the lava. Burn that shit up. It's only 2028, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. If we can get the rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, that'd be great. That would be absolutely great for the 147 pound. Because at one point in time, it seemed like the division was going to be hot, but nobody was fighting each other, just like 140. It seemed like we had all the names in place. The roster was nice, but nobody was fighting each other. And the ones we thought that was going to win lost. Who saw Subriel Matias and Liam Paro? Who's seen that happening? YTO didn't do anything. I mean, it became a little bit crazy. Matias loses Liam Paro, then Hitchinson go in there and beat Paro, which a lot of people thought that Paro was going to run over Hitchens. I mean, the whole deal. But getting back to 47, you still got Norman Jr. that's going to be up there. But I'm kind of talking about how does it blend in? Will he be able to get another title shot soon to kind of get in the mix with these champions up there at 47? I would definitely like to see, them mix it up with the top 5 in the rankings. Mix it up once again, just like they did Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia coming back to 147. How many fights he had at 147? How many? How many fights did Rolly have at 147? I mean, you don't see it? These fighters aren't really having a lot of fights at 47, and they're getting title shots. So it's room up there for people to say, let's get these big fights together. It's time. Let's make it happen. But it just don't work that expeditiously for every named fighter. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, what happens with Barrios and Garcia, because I know Ryan Garcia is going to win that fight. And Barrios is a good guy. But this good guy is going to come in second on fight night against Ryan Garcia. I'm not saying Ryan Garcia is going to knock him out, anything like that, but he has been down before. And a part of me believes that he's going to stop Mario Barrios. A part of me believes that Barrios is going to get stopped. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I think. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Salute to y'all. Hit the like button. I appreciate you. The Mell Charlo debacle, my black fight fans, understand this. I wasn't advocating for black fight fans to feel some type of way about Mell Charlo. All I was stating was information that's already available to the general public. That's him being out here talking crazy. You know, Mell Charlo out here having nothing good to say, especially to his black counterparts, his colleagues, his constituents, his compeers. This is a combat sport. Mell Charlo always seemed like he was mad and had very little respect for the art of war. That's Mell Charlo. So now all of a sudden, he's finding out that AT&T kind of lied about reaching out and touch somebody. Because when it comes to Mell Charlo, AT&T has him on the goddamn list. The no answer list. You know, he's up here trying to rally the black people. That's one thing about us. We always think, you know, you can rally your own people when you want to come up with a story and act like, man, I just feel bad. No, you're with Al Heyman, shawty. I mean, then y'all say, I like to thank Al. 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 This what it was. I like to thank Al. You know what I'm saying? So to come back and try to rally your people who you didn't really reach out to, we talking about outside of Texas. The black fight fans more so gravitated to your older brother than they ever did to Mell Charlo. And he knows that. In typical cowardice fashion, Mell Charlo disputes the sparring that has been out there in the media for the longest of time. And shout out to freaking IO. You know, this was a time where IO was attached to Errol Spence camp. And I'm pretty sure he can attest to Mell Charlo's complaining and withdrawal from being in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the ring, getting that work from EJ. They said EJ was moving him around, you know what I'm saying, like a gym bag. Moving Mell Charlo from one corner to the next, shawty. You know? But now Mell want to come out the woodwork. All because the sky had lifted and the rain stopped a little bit. He was able to clean out his burrow and come out here and talk about shit we don't want to hear. Man, ain't nobody about to show you love, Mell. It's not like it's a love-hate relationship. I'm just telling you, it might be people out here that hate the love anything you got going on right now. They might look at you like, I would definitely like the cheer for Mell Charlo, but guess what? He's a former undisputed champion. He wants people to know that. But yet, that's not what's keeping us away. I've even said, I want you to come back and fight somebody with a name. But there was a name out there that you was just talking about. Where's the tall, lanky guy? You was doing a whole press conference and you did like this. You did your head like this. It seemed a little bit, you know what I'm saying, frosty. I'm busy. You know, so I said to myself, scientifically, gauging the body's physical composition when expressing or verbalizing the word busy. Even if you're being supererogatory about it, does it require your chest, you know, your head to go back like that? I was trying to find out, is the word that serious? The Z's that he was inserting in there. And the results came back no. So Jamel Charlo was being extra. He was being extra in there talking about Terrence, when it was Terrence Crawford. And where's the tall, lanky guy? Where's this? He got business to handle this, that, and that. I'm busy. Why they wanna come from me? I'm trying to be undisputed. Look, he was looking for you while you was already undisputed. And unfortunately for Brian Custer, he had to sit up there and endure one of his most marginal interviews in his career. One of his most regretful interviews. You know why it was Brian Custer's regretful interview, that Jamel Charlo? Because he wanted to correct you or challenge you in a certain way, shape, or form, but he didn't want to get shelved or blackballed or lose his job. Brian Custer was there to engage in a dialogue with you in good standing. Shine as much, illuminate as much light down on Jamel Charlo as possible. That's what Brian Custer did. He's a good guy. But the shit you was saying out your mouth, if he see what I'm about to do to Canelo, man, nobody, when I say nobody, I mean nobody believed that. I'm talking about even your shadow on a sunny Texas day didn't believe the shit you said. You said, I may be calling the shots. Nobody believed that shit was going to happen. Nobody thought you was going to go over here and give Canelo a motherfucking run. Except from corner to corner. Nobody thought that shit. So don't come up here crying and whining, talking about I can't get a fight. I'm calling and calling and calling. Why you can't get a fight? Because even though you was undisputed 154 pounds, your star power has been minimal. your star power has been in the bucket. Your star power is irrelevant. Your star power doesn't breach outside of a super welterweight division where you was undisputed. Your star power isn't his star power still isn't as lucid as it should be to the fight fans to say, automatically, I want to see Jamel Charlo. Now that he's talking about coming back to the sport, I want to see him. We're not saying that. I'm not speaking for the people. I'm just saying Jamel Charlo can fight, but his attitude in a combat sport that's titled the Hurt Business, where the boxing fans are different. The sport itself is very, very unique. It's tough because 1 minute fight fans may be going for a fighter, the next day out the door. The next after that, they're talking ill about you and making it personal. But what Jamel Charlo did was making it personal before he even claimed the status of undisputed. Jamel Charlo treated fans like crap before he even gained that hierarchy. The only disposition that he had when it came to popularity was him and his brother Mell. Mell and Mell Charlo. That was the popularity. They love seeing the twins from Texas together. They love seeing lines only together. Keep running your mouth, talk your shit, you winning, both of y'all undefeated, this, that, and that. That's what they wanted to see. But y'all couldn't sell. Y'all just couldn't sell, homie. And I'm not trying to be a black man that's out here that's ridiculing these fighters that's really trying to rebound. But you're trying to rebound and attempting to speak to us as if it's been long enough for us to forget all the bullshit you've been saying. We can go back to Jared Hurd. We can go back to Deontay Wilder. Your hating ass say skill pay the bills. So I said the same thing when you went in there to Canelo. Skills pay the bills, right? What was the skills when you fought Canelo? Where? It's crazy how skills pay the bills, and you took an L to Tony Harris and you was crying, but you want to dog Deontay out. You sat up there and spoke to Crawford like he was 12 years a mother effing slave. You said that man should just sit his ass down and take less money and shut up. If that ain't some slave talk, if that banter haven't been used in the freaking movies, I don't know what is. And for Charlo to come out of hiding once Crawford has been proven that he's retired, he's settled the score, he's made it official, I'm out. Now Mell come out here in his ring. Hey, Najee. Hey, get on the phone and call Najee. See if he has time in his schedule for me, please. You on the phone begging black social media. He wants to now use black social media. Man, I don't care if these dudes say they know, this fight and that fight. Look, how close were you all when things was active? That's what I want to know. How close were you all when things was active? What was the relationship? What was the communication? What was the bond like? Because Mell Charlo was just talk, yakety yak, yak, yak. Very belligerent individual. Always seemed like he was ready to disrupt somebody's happiness. Never shied away from social media. Even him and his brother used to go at each other's throats on social media. But when WCS said they should fight each other, here we go with they promised their mother. Look, check this out. This is going to make some sense to y'all. They promised their mother they'll never step in the ring and fight one another. And I'm saying, what about this though? Did your moms tell you how to conduct yourselves out in public, whether it be in the comfort of your own home and social media? Did she tell y'all not to fight in public? Or she told you she just didn't want you to fight in the ring? So in the ring, where you get paid, it's bad because you're providing for your family. But outside the ring, you're doing it for free. I think that should be looked into. I think that right there doesn't make any dollars. It definitely doesn't make any sense. I'm just being honest. It don't make dollars and it don't make any sense to continuously be out in the general public discrediting one another, defaming one another, back and forth verbal sparring. And every time I mention these two twins will probably make the most money in a fight outside of what Charlo may have been paid for Canelo, but I'm talking about together as two brothers. If they fought each other, you get it out the way. Why? Because it'll be intriguing to boxing. You're seeing two human beings that are identical twins, professional fighters, champions. You know what I'm saying? The public will love to see that on the undercard. I'm just saying, on the UC, they'll love to see that. But Charlo would rather come out here and talk about his brother once again. Did your mom tell you anything about not fighting in public for free? If it's too bad for you all to lace up gloves and fight where you actually know how to do this. You know how the contractual process works. You know how to get with your team. You know how to schedule a date. That's where y'all get paid in the sanctioned bout. But to continue to go at each other out here and basically upon your return, you want to say, I can't believe how my brother did this. He didn't come to this. You still got shit to say about your bro. But I could have sworn you're talking about your bro didn't show up to one training session during your camp. But we saw him with Roy Jones Jr., I believe, the night that you stepped in there with Canelo Alvarez. I could have sworn that was Mell Charlo. The same Mell Charlo I saw down at Roy's place when I was down there. The same one I interviewed that looked clear-headed and everything. And he was down there preparing for his fight prior to Jose Benavidez. Roy is one of those peacemakers, man. Shout out to the legend himself. He brought Mell Charlo up there. He said, we got to go up there and support your brother. That's the right thing to do. So he went up there. You know, they walked in there. You know how them Charlos are. Boy, that heat is immense. That negative energy is immense between them, right? They went up there. He gave him a hug. Did that. Hey, man. I'm just saying. Big bro showed up and gave you a hug, shawty. But now you want to rally the black fight fans. You know, I mean, it might be 4, 5, 6, 8 over there in Texas. But across the goddamn spectrum, the global spectrum, do you think fight fans are willing to turn over a positive perspective and saying it's not much going on, I'm just gonna do process of elimination? We got the Ryan Garcia fight. Yeah, let's see what else is going on. You think just because they have limited names or fights they want us to talk about, they're gonna talk about Mell Charlo in a positive light? You think they willing to burn that candle, Mell Charlo, because you now have considered to return and have an interview in your gym? You actually believe that we give a damn? I don't care, bro. I still remember, as I play it over and over and over, I still remember Mell Charlo talking so crazy about Crawford. So crazy about Jerry Hurd. Just disrespecting his family on it when Jerry Hurd was a unified champion. Mell Charlo just had to have beef with this nigga forever and a day, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some dudes are like that. You know, they show you it's in them. Not the dog, but just to hold on to grudges forever and a day, man. Grudges that doesn't even lead to anything in boxing. Like Mell Charlo and Jerry Hurd, they never led to a potential rivalry. Never, yo. It never built up to anything. And Mell want us to pat him on the back now. And you in a loaded division, and they can't give you a fight? Look, correct me if I'm wrong, people, please. Mell Charlo is not champion in recess anymore? I thought he was a recess. I thought they had the REC. Mell Charlo star recess. Asterisk recess. Is Mell Charlo a recess fighter champion at 154? Can somebody please tell me? Put it in the chat if he is. I would appreciate it. Do y'all know if he's a champion in recess? How can you come off your titles and not ever be defeated? Get a fight with Canelo Alvarez because you was just waiting to drive that spear all the way through the 4th and 5th vertebrae of Mell's back, knowing that he wasn't in a position to fight, of course. But Mell Charlo could not wait to run that motherfucking spear all the way through Mell's spinal region when they needed somebody to step in for Canelo Alvarez. So he went in there and got the check because no one, remembers the performance of that night. He went and got the check, disappears. So look, I remember EJ talking positive about Mell Charlo at that point in time with Canelo. I remember EJ. It wasn't no riff. But now all of a sudden, him and EJ ain't friends? Do it sound familiar, y'all? Check this out. WCS said they should fight each other. All they need to do is create some type of animosity, some type of beef, anything to put between that bread, them two hamburger buns, man. Put all the condiments on it and serve it to the people as if y'all got real beef with each other, right? But now he's trying to sell it like him and EJ is not friends. So if both of you all took a loss, and before you took a loss with Canelo, you and EJ was good. Then if y'all both been inactive doing, based off your last defeat, how could you and EJ have a falling out? What happened? It wasn't like your kids was going to the same boxing gym and it happened to be lines only. And EJ said, hey, next week they training over in gym over there where I'm at. I mean, how can you stop liking EJ when you was advocating for Crawford to fight your boy? You was advocating for Crawford to fight EJ, yo. That's what you said. He needs to fight and clean up. He got, my boy, he's a stud. Go down there and fight him. He was advocating for EJ. But you trying to tell me based off your last defeat, all of a sudden, you at odds? You're not in each other's kinship no more? Now there's some type of contentiousness between y'all? How did this happen? And y'all have both been out of the ring. And Mell Charlo wants to fight his former stablemate. No belts between them. Black fighters missing what WCS put out there long time ago. You could have made millions, Mell Charlo and Errol Spence. Al Heyman in-house fight, you could have made millions. All you had to do is go each other in the media. Spence would have been a 2-division unified, and Mell would have been a 2-time undisputed. Take the L. I mean, it wasn't like Mell hadn't lost already. The loss that would have happened to Spence wouldn't have stopped a fight between him and Crawford because he still would have had his belts at 147 pounds. I'm just putting out the story, as if it could have happened. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing a semi-script, for potential publication. But, I put it out there and it didn't happen. But now all of a sudden these dudes like Mell Charlo trying to come back and say, I want to fight my boy Spence. How the F are you mad at Spence when he's been out the ring from fighting a guy who you had so much shit to say about? So if you was taking up for Spence when he was fighting Crawford, how can you all have a falling out and he was bigging you up prior to going in there for Canelo? I'm telling you, this Mell Charlo, man, one of the fakest of all fakes. I tried my best. I tried to support. I like Mell Charlo. But he too, where he attempted to address me down there when I was doing the interview, it didn't play out. He didn't get off like that, but he tried in Charlo fashion. Try to group me in with all the others. No, you cannot do that. But Mell Charlo is my center topic. I'm eager to see, like I said the other day, if anybody's willing to have a sense of urgency to put this man on a piece of paper with a name that they believe is going to be a ticket seller. The consumers will come out. He's definitely not going to be a main event. So bringing him out with a name, it needs to be a name other than Erickson Lubin. We don't want to see no Erickson Lubin. You better not even think about coming. The dude that just got stopped by RT, you better not bring no Erickson Lubin out there, dog. Madrimov, I don't know, man. We know the big names that we want to see Mell Charlo in there with. We're eager. We need something that we can hold near and dear to our boxing hearts. That we can have that anticipation meter a little bit higher than usual and say, I'm looking forward to this right here. This is worth panel conversation. I'm having a panel tonight. This is worth panel conversation right here. Let's go. Let's have a PC. A OPC. Open panel conversation. Let's go. And let's talk about some things. Now, if it was Mell Charlo, Jaron Ennis, okay. You know, okay. I like that fight. Mell Charlo, any of the champions up there. You was in a stable with a guy who said he doesn't do tune-ups. So if you look at it that way, he doesn't do tune-ups. It didn't reciprocate across the board when y'all was up on the Derrick James tutelage. Man, come on, yo. It didn't reciprocate. How many champions is up there? We got Xander Zayas, man. Now, if Mell Charlo wanted to come back and fight Xander Zayas and they was cool with it, awesome. But Xander's up here about to fight Josh Kelly, who, in my opinion, doesn't have more star power, in my opinion, than Mell Charlo. It would be good to see if Xander Zayas defeat Kelly. There's only one more belt out there. And I don't know if they're going to insert Mell Charlo in there just because he was a previous undisputed super welterweight champion. I don't know if that's going to happen, y'all. That'd be good if they understood the mission. But something's going on over there where Mell Charlo feels that he's not being recognized. He's not being considered. Basically, they ain't fucking with him. I mean, that's what he's putting out to us. And I'm not really trying to do any investigative effort to try to find out why, nor am I going to assume or insinuate that PBC has it out for Mell Charlo because he did this. I don't know. You know, when you're dealing with Mell Charlo, he might have pissed off a lot of people. Who knows, man? All I know is he was supporting EJ when he went in there with Crawford because he was ringside. EJ haven't fought since that. Mell Charlo fought Canelo Alvarez and he lost. So I felt that Crawford was supporting him also in that effort. So how can there be a rift between two former stablemates, two former unified champions? How can you have a rift between each other, a legitimate rift? How did this come about? Just being in Texas? You cut your hair down, Spence grow his hair out. Are you pissed? Because Spence got the locks going? What the hell, Jamel? Like, why are you pissed off at EJ and you trying to convince us that, oh, me and EJ aren't friends? Man, get your ass up out of here, yo. Don't nobody believe that. Man. Hey, look, if you don't fuck with somebody, you just say certain things to let people know. You just say certain things that's, yeah, that's disrespectful right there. That's unkind. Something going on. Nobody's believing it right now. It seems like another in-house fight potentially for Charlo, EJ. And I'm more eager to see EJ come back than Charlo. Real talk. I really hope Spence does get that Tim Tszyu fight in Australia, because he's been over there to the backyard of the Kell Brook before, and it was a damn good fight. So when it comes down to Spence going to Australia, I'll definitely like to see that fight. If Charlo and Spence was the fight, I'm definitely going for Spence. Definitely. I'm going for Spence so much that when Charlo tries to climb up the steps on the side of the road, if he trips on the middle rope, hey man, I'm gonna say put some ice on it, goddamn declare Spence the winner. But they haven't got outside the 4th round yet. Somebody slide some money somewhere, man. You know how boxing does. Ask Tony Weeks. Hey, we know how boxing is. Come on, man. But what else, man? I'm going to get off that. I'm going to get off Charlo just for today. No love, man. No love. I don't want to hear all this complaining about family doing this, that, and your brother doing this. You don't like this and all this, and trying to semi-defecate good graces, how people respect Ronnie Shields. Man, you just went around the gauntlet, didn't you? You just went around the gauntlet, man. You got to build up, get your team, and get all that shit together. Bro, you put out a video months ago about lines only and the king and all that, and we haven't heard anything else pertaining to that video. That's crazy. And you want us to support you. We can't do it. The boxing fan base, the consumers have changed. Why? Because the economy has changed. With the economy changing and the broadcasting not being the way it is, and also how boxing promotions let certain, the ticket sales and letting media into fights, it's changed since I was out there in the trenches. It's changed. You have a lot of other constituents that's out here from different places. They may not have the roots or the base in boxing, but they're gradually learning about the sport itself. With that said, you're finding more fighters willing to entertain YouTube, which even I myself spoke about years ago. It would be good if fighters entertain YouTube. I remember when Bill Haney used to be out here on YouTube, right? And he was promoting his son. And not everybody can do it with the schedule that Bill Haney had. But on the other hand, Devin Haney, you rarely seen him out here on social media. But now you have more and more fighters, champions, that's willing to get out here and do interviews. It's more common now. Why? Because the promotions are not paying money for their fighters' promo. They're not paying no extreme amount to put you on the fly with these very acute graphics. They're not doing all that shit. So you got to get out here and build up your own controversy. You have to go out here and talk to these media segues that you choose that want to drive whatever message that you want to send out to your fans. You get on there and hopefully they do a great job at it. That's where we at right now in the social media game. The times have changed, bro. Real talk, the times have changed. They have changed, yo. I can't hold you. The time has changed big time, man. I'm trying to find out when is the next big fight that has, some some heavy credentials on the line. Where's that fight at? We have some potentials. We have the young guard. We have the young bulls that's coming out, you know. But where are the fights that's just gonna say, yeah, that's what I want to see. I'm willing to travel for that fight right there. We waiting on it, man. It is a fight, right, that I just heard about. I'm not even gonna talk about it unless it get made. You know what I'm saying? I really wish El Chinchecker would come back into the picture. But we do have to dip down in the 130s, 126, you know, see what's popping down there, since Shushu Carrington just had that tremendous, incredible finisher. I really want to see him in there with somebody like, was he trying to fight Nick Ball? Nick Ball is no longer in the picture. Do you want to go fight Brandon Figueroa with that fighting style he got? I mean, I was happy for Shushu with the WBC. Even though it's been tripping, I was more so saying Shushu got the belt. He looked incredible. Sharp. Whoo. Does he want his next fight to be with a Brandon Figueroa? Does he want both of those fights? Brandon Figueroa and Rafael Espinosa are both tough fights. Shushu, Espinosa, Figueroa. That trio right there is very, very nice. Very nice. You got Shaki Foster out there. You still got Jess Bam Rodriguez. I mean, you have Gary Antoine Russell, who just was he's taking the Asian fighter Harioki. I think he's been moved into that slot. I don't know, man. It's a little wild, yo. 160. Just think about that. 160 is dead again. Oh, I would love for Crawford to go fight at 160 or something. I mean, you got Janabek, and I'm like, ain't nobody. Hey, the search party returned. Did they find Janabek anywhere? Ain't nobody trying to waste man hours, and that's fraud, wasted abuse. Nobody give a fuck about Janabek. I mean, Janabek is a unified champion, yo. We got the grand old man of boxing up in there too, man. Aries Lindy Laura. I mean, we got, and we already know what's at 168, yo. And we waiting at 175. We waiting for cruiserweight. We waiting for the David Benavidez and Gilberto Ramirez, you know, Ja Pataya and all that. Alexander Usyk shook up the heavyweight division. I mean, what we supposed to do in boxing, yo? We still got the Keishans. We got the Shakur Stevensons. He's already established 4 weight divisions. We could wait for his next fight. It'll be good if it's versus somebody that we really want to see that's going to be a challenge. Like, say, for instance, Keyshawn versus Devin Haney. That'll be a great fight for us. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a great conversational piece. Very, very, when you talk about experience versus hunger. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn seems hungry. He's rededicated his life to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis. Will the experience be too much for Keyshawn? I know people are rooting for Keyshawn, but you have to look at Devin Haney's improvement, how solid he looks at 147. Hey, it'll be a tough fight for Keyshawn. I'm just going to put it out. It'll be a tough fight. It will be a tough fight. It will be a tough fight, man. Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is now finding out that, hey, being a good stand-up guy, you still have to go and talk your trash every now and then, else they're not going to respect you. So if he's going to move to another division, I'm looking forward to that, man. Abdullah Mason. You got Kid Austin that's still out there. I really don't know what Kid Austin them going to do. He got some very high energy, high impact workouts, but I just don't know what him and his dad is going to do. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, they still young. They don't have to rush. They still young. Get paid. Get money young, get paid. I mean, get the money, man. I would like to see him fight somebody of notoriety, though. Marathia is out there. Whatever. Hitchens. What are you doing, bro? Oh, boy. Shit. And look, another fight is coming up that's going to be good. And it's Yo-Yo. Jahad Tucker fight Yo-Yo. And this shit is coming up quick, too. Shout out to Electric Boogie, yo. He's been out the ring for a minute. But he's about to come back and fight Yo-Yo, man. I believe. That's going to be a very good fight right there. That's going to be a good fight. Jahad Tucker is still one of the more entertaining, technically skilled fighters in the sport of boxing. Just the activity rate, him being out the ring, yeah, he definitely needs to get up under those lights again and dance and show people why he's one of the best fighters in the sport today. So that fight is coming up pretty damn quick, to be honest with you. I don't know, man. We'll just have to see, man. Real talk. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, man. Y'all already know. Salute, continue to support. I'll try to, try my best to go out here. I've been looking at jiu-jitsu tournaments. I ain't gonna lie. I've been looking at these BJJ tournaments, man, and the new format that they have, new tournament-based format, the names and all that. Then just checking out MMA on that side. It's been a little crazy, but boxing, yeah, defibrillator. Y'all hold it down, man. Salute. I'm out.